welcome to my channel. Netflix just released a new limited series out on September 12th and it's called The Island. 10 people wake up on a deserted island with no memory of who they were before, and as they try to survive they start to figure out that there might be more to this whole thing than just being lost at shore. This TV series is a thriller starring Natalie Martinez and is also produced by Kate Bosworth, who is one of the supporting characters in the TV show. This TV series is similar to the show Lost because they are lost on a deserted island and they're like working together, coming together to survive, and like having difficulties with the different personalities and things of that nature. But it's also similar to the movie The Maze Runner, whereas they wake up in this place that is unknown to them with no memory of who they were before they got to this place, and it's all for a scientific reason. So apparently my opinion is not the current opinion that's going around about this show right now. I actually really enjoyed this show. I do understand some of the critique. Like, I understand why some people are saying that they don't like it. The first episode is just very rough to get through. There's a lot of exposition, a lot of backstory, a lot of things that the audience needs to know, and the writer decided to give that all to the audience through dialogue. Giving exposition in the dialogue makes the dialogue seem very forced. Doesn't seem natural, doesn't feel like a regular conversation, and so then also it gives the audience that feel like exposition is usually not supposed to be given through dialogue. It's supposed to be given throughout scenes, through actions and things that the characters run into, not just through somebody giving it all and telling it all. And so that's a lot of information being thrown at the audience. It makes it seem like the writer took the easy way out to give the audience this information by just having a character say it and not coming up with a more creative way to do so. The audio in the first episode, it's constant thriller music. In my opinion, this takes away from when thriller music or suspenseful music is actually needed for a scene, and so if it's played the whole time, all the way through it kind of left me feeling uneasy the whole episode, but not a good uneasy like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen, like uneasy like I'm thinking that something's gonna happen and nothing is happening because they're playing this music for no reason. And then it left me like, when it's time to actually be to feel the suspense, I really didn't, because I had checked out and had stopped like listening for that music. So like that takes away from how the audience may feel. I feel like the writer is trying to get everything that the audience needs to know about these characters, about where they are and what they're doing, all in one episode, and because of that it feels very rushed to get to the nitty-gritty of the plot. Like, it was just like, here's all the information that you need, okay, let's get to what I really want to talk about. Which it should be like a gradual thing. Like, we should gradually be figuring things out, we should gradually be finding things out. It made the writing in the first episode is very poor, it's very repetitive. You have like characters just keep asking like, what are we doing here, do you remember anything, can you think of anything, like in constant separate episodes. And I was like not being honest, like when I first watched this first episode, I'm like, oh my gosh, here goes another show that I'm not gonna like, that's gonna be poorly written, poorly done, and I'm just gonna have to sit through it to do this review. But I was very much mistaken, but in a good way. It was just that first episode. So I understand why some people are having bad reviews for this show, but after the first episode the plot gets extremely interesting, like so interesting that I found it very hard for me after every episode to put it down or to not watch the next episode, because the cliffhangers would be so large and the twists and the turns were so big. Like, one thing I really like about this show, that they were not afraid to like just go there and take risks and go left and then go right and then go left, right, left. Like, you never knew what was gonna happen. It was not predictable whatsoever. Like, I did not think that where this TV show started off was where it was gonna end off at. Like, I had no idea. You couldn't even have guessed it, not even a little bit. And that's one thing I can say about the writer. The writer did a very good job at not giving away what it was too fast. Like, not giving away why they were there, not giving away what was behind them being there too fast. Like, it was very well paced after the first episode. Like, I just wanted to know, like, why are they there? And like, they kept getting close, and then their things kept happening, but like the things that were happening were so left field that I'm like, oh my gosh, like, did that really just happen? Like, it was really interesting. Though the plot, one big criticism of this show currently is that it's too similar to Lost and The Maze Runner. But what I can say, even though that it is similar to Lost and The Maze Runner, it has its very own plot, a plot that has not been seen before. It's set in the future, but not like the too far future from now. And it's very possible that something like this could happen, to whereas The Maze Runner, that would probably like never happen, and Lost, that like that's happened, but that's more like on a realistic note. This is like a mixture between, like, it's like realistic sci-fi, you know. And so I appreciate that, and like I see the correlations to them both, but it is still its own thing. The cinematography in this movie was very, very, very well done. Like, it was almost hard to not notice some of the shots that were in this show. I was just like looking like, wow, that was very greatly composed and for TV shows. That's always amazing to me, to have great cinematography, because that's not always the focus for TV shows. Some of the still shots in this TV show, I could see being still shots being analyzed in some of my film classes, like that I've taken in the past. Like, they were that good. Like, they don't use the basic long shot, low angle, high angle. Like, they use multiple different types of shots in one shot to just make it more complex, and it really had a great effect on the audience or the viewer when they were watching it, and I really appreciated it. There was just some shots that really stood out to me, and I'm just like, wow, this is very nicely composed. Shout out to them. Like, even like some of the movements, the ways they chose to, instead of someone entering the room and you like entering from behind them, but being on the other side of the door as they walked in, camera panning with them. I was just like, it was just little things like that, and I was just like, okay, like, this was nice. This was really good. The acting wasn't amazing, but our main character was really good, and the most popular supporting characters were really good. The acting did get better as the episodes went on, which I really appreciated, but it wasn't bad to start out with. Like, it wasn't like horrible, like this is like hard to watch, but it was actually decent. Like, I didn't really, except for the first episode where I felt like the dialogue was weak, which is really not the actor's fault, and so the acting was good, and so like that didn't draw me out, that didn't like make me want to stop watching it. And when it came to the suspense, they really played into that well as well. Outside of the first episode, the show was paced very well as far as editing wise, as far as like the influx of information. One thing that the show did well, because it's 10 people on this island, 10 people for us to know, even though we do have one main character and some really more supporting characters than other, but it did a really good job to making sure that we felt like we knew who each exact character was. Like, even if they were playing into a stereotype or a set person, we still knew who they were. When it came to figuring out who they were in the past, it was surprising, but not surprising, because it still fit within their character. It's just like, these things were just wild, you know. Like, who would have thought that these people would have done these things? So this show was really interesting to me, despite the reviews that's going on about it right now. It was not scared to take several left, right, zigzag turns, like things that were just out of the blue. So just like, be prepared for that, but don't be prepared for that, because there's no way to prepare for it. Like, you're just, the progression from the first episode to the last episode, for there only to be 7 episodes for this series, was amazing. It'll be an interesting watch. I definitely recommend for you to watch it. Check it out. It's not that many episodes. It's not like 12 episodes. It's a limited series, so it's only 7 episodes. I definitely would recommend you watching it. I would give this show a B+. If it wasn't for the first episode, it might actually be an A, but I definitely B+. I love thrillers, but I was completely surprised a lot of the times about everything that was happening. Don't forget to go check out my other reviews on my channel for Otherhood and The Secret Obsession. Also, check back here next weekend for the review on the new season for American Horror Story. Really excited to watch it and share it with you all. Yeah, thanks for checking out my channel. Check out the other videos.